Okay, so quasi-public goods. What do we think the word quasi means?
Partially or semi.
Excellent, Georgia. Partial or semi. All right, so something that's kind of like a public good. Here we go. So public goods, and the notion of public, quasi-public goods comes from this problem of the overuse of environmental goods and the market failure that it creates. So the overuse of public goods like a beach will eventually lead to positive costs. So they start off with zero marginal cost. It doesn't cost anything extra to breathe in the air or to go to the beach or the big giant wilderness park. But eventually they do incur positive marginal costs, and so they start acting like private goods. So therefore they are known as quasi-public goods. So they possess the qualities of a public good up to a certain point of saturation, if you like, and then after that it costs money and resources in order to maintain the quality of that public good. So here's a diagram of a supply curve for quasi-public goods, which you have in front of you, and you should be writing down a few notes here. You can copy this down or you can summarise this in points. So I'm just going to read through this. This paragraph, by the way, and it might be a good idea to copy it down, also models for you how you should use diagrams in an essay. Don't just draw the essay and move on. You actually need to explain what it's talking about. So the diagram indicates the marginal cost curve or supply curve for a beach, small beach. Supply curve is horizontal along the zero axis, so along the zero axis up until point C. So this indicates that as the first 200 people use the beach, there is no extra marginal cost involved, and so it's a horizontal supply curve along zero. So they're enjoying that natural amenity. One person's enjoyment at the beach is not affected by another person's arrival. Since the marginal cost is zero along the curve, the price mechanism will deliver a zero price. So again, if you had demand curves going along it like that, it would deliver a zero price because supply cost is zero. So what that does is it encourages people to think of the public good as free and endless, and theirs to use at no cost. However, beyond point C, the beach becomes congested and can't easily absorb the number of people or the pollution and erosion that they create. So marginal costs actually begin to rise, as indicated by the upward sloping section of the curve, which slopes upwards to the right like a supply curve for a private good. And since environmental costs and pollutions tend to increase exponentially after this point, those marginal costs will rise rapidly, and you'll end up with a vertical supply curve, possibly up to infinity if it gets completely out of control, to the point of total congestion, which is point T, which is that in economic theory, that point of total congestion is where you've completely, I guess, destroyed an environmental resource. So it's important to understand these concepts, and you can view these again if you want, if you need it, if you want to write the whole thing out, you can view the clip again. I've read out pretty much the whole thing, and you can view it as a flipped video, so that you've got a model of a paragraph explaining quasi-public goods with reference to the diagram. Okay? So for the moment, that's it. For now.